Greetings and welcome to a Monday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is December 15th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing great. I gotta say, I had a lot of things that I had to deal with today, but my Bears, another victory Monday. Just beat the crap out of your team. Your team is sorry, sad sack of a football team that came to town.
Yeah, we're not good. We've been bad. We've been horrible. We look good. Those all whites with the brown helmet is some of the best classic throwback. The all white pants, white jerseys. Look good, play bad. So I'd rather have the reverse. I would take the Jaguars or some Titans uniforms if we could win 10 games a year. But it summed up the season was like Shedeur with an actual seed, a great pass to Jerry Jeudy. That Jeudy just hands off to the defensive back for an interception. I felt bad for Shedeur in that instance. But your Bears
he didn't get to do his thing. What's his move?
The watch is time. The time is now, or whatever it means. I don't know. What does that mean, PJ? What is the actual name?
It's his rap song. It's called Perfect Timing.
Okay. It's his own rap song?
It's his own rap song. You've never heard this?
I didn't know he was an artist. I didn't know he was a musical artist.
I'm actually stunned that this is not coming across your desk. I'm glad I could break the news to you, though.
Pop into my pop culture, orbit. You know what I saw this weekend? Master P is an assistant coach at New Orleans.
Yes,
I didn't know that. UNO?
Like defensive line or something?
No, basketball.
No, basketball.
Oh, basketball.
And his kid plays for Houston, and they played each other. And you talk about Shedeur having a rap song. Master P has gone the other way from making him say, to now being an assistant coach at the University of New Orleans. I did not know that's where he was.
Remember, he was an agent. He negotiated Ricky Williams' terrible contract.
Yes.
Back in the day.
He was. I do remember that. He's had a renaissance, man, when you think about it. He's done a little bit of everything. Now he's drawing up plays on the whiteboard for UNO. So congrats to your Bears, Andy.
Yeah.
Got to feel good.
Might be back in first place.
10 wins.
Where the Packers and the Broncos are engaged in a tight battle here. We might be back in first.
Good old rock fight out there. Some guys getting dinged up as
some injuries. Sorry for the Packers fans. You don't want to see injuries.
How was the crowd of Chicago with it being 10 under wind chill? Did it
raucous? Okay. Raucous. People showed up. Listen, it's the best sports town in America, hands down. We just don't win very much. So when we we have a winning team, people show up.
That's tough. Yeah, Browns are bad. Cavs are in shambles. It's not good right now. Not good.
There's a Packer fan that said, congrats on winning, the Great Lakes superiority battle. And I pointed out that, another team didn't uphold the Lake Michigan against Erie.
We took those Lambeau boys and put them in a body bag. Yeah, when they came over. Is Green Bay on Lake Michigan?
Yeah.
Is that where that is? Okay.
It's up on the northern part. Sorry, I had a little interruption.
You're fine. This is what we do. Live action here. All right, we're gonna do year in review part. What is it, PJ? Six. Okay. The last one. Kevin Van Valkenburg joins us. Now he is last in line again. He for the night, so there is a potential for AJ Hawk part 2
/ Matt Damon. Apologies to Matt Damon. We didn't have time for him tonight.
There is a possibility that happens, but part 6.
I hope not. We need to get through this. We have to get to the PGA. We have to get to the dawn of dawn for part 7. We have to.
Is that what we're calling it?
That's what I'm calling. The dawn of dawn, the rise of Rea. Whatever we want to subtitle. We got multiple out there.
A lot of kind words about the Masters one, to just say they're appreciated. I mean, a 4-hour pod is a daunting task. Personally, my personal opinion, I wouldn't listen to it. I wouldn't get through a 4-hour podcast. But I'm very glad.
There's no personal opinion. I'm the president of the PGA of America.
People are doing it. I would urge you. We had PJ go in and timestamp it a little bit on YouTube if you want to get to Masters. Just a good chat, I think, amongst some folks who were there about the Masters. So that, thank you for the kind words on that one. Fun to relive that part in part 5. We'll get to part 6 here in a minute. But golf from the weekend, Andrew Novak and Lauren Coughlin win the Grant Thornton Invitational. I did like Novak's self-deprecation, saying he's won a modern career slam now, winning both the Zurich and the Grant Thornton. I like that. That's some good stuff. So
he's also just knocking down the big companies. Zurich. He's got his insurance company and is the Grant Thornton tax and accounting.
I think it's CPA. Yeah, I think it's accounting. Yeah. Congrats to those two on that. And then I would say more importantly was PGA Tour Q-School, which I found to be a very compelling watch here late in the day, Sunday. It's Shane Bacon and Nitty's on the call. They were great. Brentley on site. It was a good broadcast. Jay was out there walking around. God, Jay is just nonplussed these days. I mean, look, he's there in his golf shirt, just collecting checks while Rolap takes all the incoming fire. He's just walking around watching a golf tournament. But good of him to show his face, I suppose. Your qualifiers, 5 through. Medalist was AJ Ewart, Adam Svensson, Alejandro Tosti is coming back to the tour, has featured prominently in year review up until about now, and then he's going to be disappeared somewhere to the Pine Barrens. I don't know what happened, but he's back now.
He's back. He was allowed to play.
He was allowed to play.
He's not like the Russian in The Sopranos. He does reappear.
Yeah, he's back. I was honestly surprised. I didn't know what his status was. I'm surprised to see him out there swinging it in a PGA Tour sanctioned qualifier. Marcelo Rozo and Dylan Wu getting through in a playoff with Ben Silverman. A 2-for-1 playoff there. Makes a birdie on the playoff hole. Really, really compelling television for me. I thought the Rozo story was especially interesting. He's a 13-year pro. He's made 4 PGA Tour starts. Turned pro 13 years ago. Colombian. So you had Camilo Villegas there on the range. Villegas himself is close to qualifying, but rooting for his fellow countrymen. You've got Rozo's family, wife, I believe it's wife. I think it's his wife. I hope. I don't know. Maybe it's girlfriend. Maybe it's, I don't know. But I think it was his wife, was on the range, and they're in tears, and Camilo's like hugging them as they watch him close it out, and he's in tears. Just, are these 5 guys going to shift the balance of power in the PGA Tour next year? No. But it's just really compelling television for a December afternoon.
Toasty could shift whatever he wants.
Toasty can move mountains.
Toasty!
That's completely disrespectful to a man that's already shifted the PGA Tour.
Toasty is finally re-allowed, possibly, question mark, to play in a PGA Tour sanctioned event and immediately qualifies? Like, come on.
Yeah. Is this like a Jordan type suspension, Peach? Like maybe they suspended him secretly and just that made him go off and do some time.
The thing is, every PGA Tour suspension is a secret one.
That's true.
That's a problem.
When has there been a public one?
I mean, Toasty is a complete lunatic. His whole card is on the line, and he's hitting like sliding draws to like back left pins with water on 3 sides. Like, you just need to like steer it quietly in the house. Here, he's hitting driver off the tee when he just needs pars.
I don't think he's capable of quietly steering. I think it's full throttle.
Bacon and Nitties were sort of incredulous, even though, and they fully understand the Toasty oeuvre, and they were just like incredulous, like, dude, you can't, he's dancing with the devil here, and all he needs is just pars. He knows no other way. He knows no other way, but he gets through. And we have 5 new, it was good television, 5 new Q-School players. They're going to the Sony at Waialae. I suppose they will go to the Sony. Oh, good Toasty tale. Positive Toasty tale we got from a friend of the program. Someone who was interacted with him this week. And Toasty took a liking to this individual. And then went on Facebook Marketplace, Toasty did, and procured goods that this individual was selling. Maybe kitchenware, like pots and pans. And sends them back to Colombia because these are, and like is to less fortunate. I think Toasty's from nothing, and they would do just a peculiar fella, but doing good deeds. Kind of amazing. Toasty tale. That's your Toasty tale, and he's coming back to the.
What do you think he did with the cufflinks?
I mean, probably sold them for cash. I would guess. I don't know what he did, but that's my guess.
I just loved the idea of Tosti out in there, like outbidding like my wife on Facebook Marketplace for like pots and stuff. Like,
it's incredible.
What a lunatic.
Good Tosti tale. Positive Tosti tale. That's it for results from the weekend.
Did you see our David Cohn's kid? What he said?
What did he say? I did see it, but I forget.
He was leading, and he's like, I'm in the position here that this would be a bad thing for me to say, but he said that that these tour cards shouldn't exist in this event. That there should be 5 extra given to the regular season, like the 25 cards instead of 20, because it's a way better,
longer sample size.
Exactly. Way better example of like what makes it rather than this 1 week a year.
Sure. Now, contra to his argument is we've had 2 Q-Schools and Tosti has gotten through both of them. So I think it's pretty flawless process if you're asking me. I mean, he's like, look, I love this course. What is it? Dyes Valley? Is that where they do that?
Yeah.
He goes, I love this course. I was like, well, I mean, they asked him, what are you excited about on tour next year? Like, I'm more familiar with courses now. Like this course, I love this course. I love playing here. It's like, well, Tosti, you don't want to be playing here. This isn't a course you want to keep. Like, if you're returning to Dyes Valley, that's not an optimal situation. But he's coming back to the tour.
Well, he likes Houston too.
He does.
He's just got to win Houston. That's all.
He does. He did a nice interview with Brentley. I was told he was not into talking to the press or being even captured by anyone with the press, affiliated with the press this week. He was running a little hot and wasn't interested in doing any media, but he did sit down with Brentley at the end of it after securing his card. Elsewhere, those are results. Elsewhere in news, this broke, was it late Friday night, that Donald Trump or his administration has sent notice of default to the National Links Trust. The end of October 29th was, I believe, when they got the notice. They have until the end of this month, I believe, what do they have to do by the end of this month?
That's unclear.
Just not be in default anymore.
Nobody knows.
But they don't know what the default wasn't necessarily specified. Just that they were in default and they weren't told how to rectify it necessarily. Obviously, this is a pro golf story, but within there are potential plans, right, Andy, that Trump might have for pro golf at East Potomac. We should outline National Links Trust. Obviously, you've done podcasts with those guys in the past, and it's a local story for me living in D.C. or outside of D.C. We've gotten, we had heard in the background that some of these developments were coming, and they broke in the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, and elsewhere on Friday night. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I think for those not familiar with this, East Potomac is a golf course that was built in the late 19-teens. It opened in 1920. It was built with the purpose of being the model for municipal golf for the country, was the idea. Golf at the time was a really new sport in the country. It was mostly restricted to the elites. It was exploding in private clubs, and, places like Van Cortlandt Park and Jackson Park in Chicago had brought golf to the masses, and they were very popular. And Washington, D.C. said, hey, what if we did this really great and showed the country what great municipal golf could do? So they brought Walter Travis in. East Potomac's a pretty sublime site. It is very close to the National Mall. It is on this little kind of inlet that juts out into the Potomac. You look across at the wharf, which is kind of a new residential retail area, and you've got these kind of views of the Washington Monument from all over the golf course. So this golf course was built by Walter Travis, 18-hole reversible design. The way it worked is you'd play one way one day, the other way the other day. It was wildly popular. In the first year of it being open, there were 65,000 rounds played, 65,000 plus rounds. That's
It's a lot.
A massive number. The quality of the course was such that President Harding at the time was a diehard golfer, and he would play at Chevy Chase Country Club, like one of the ritzy country clubs. And East Potomac was such a striking golf course that he started to shift most of his rounds there. So you had like the active sitting president playing regular golf with the people at East Potomac. You know, as is the story often times. Like, so anyway, like golf booms, they build another 9, which is a reversible Flynn 9. And then it keeps, you know, they need more demand. They end up with 18 reversible Flynn holes as well. So it's a 36-hole facility.
On a just incredible plot of land. I don't know if it's necessarily land for golf.
It's
I
very
leave it
flat.
to you. Yeah, but it's primo place of within, like right in the middle of the river, looking around everywhere to the National Mall. Go ahead.
So golf continues to expand. They build Rock Creek, and then there's a course called Anacostia, which is a course for African Americans. At that time, golf was segregated.
Yep.
And that eventually turned into Langston, where they built a golf course for African American golfers to go play while it was segregated. Langston, Rock Creek, and East Potomac. Eventually, they all fall into like kind of disrepair. It's the story of municipal golf in the States. They all fall into disrepair. They're all managed by the National Park Service. So this is national parks land. So just so everybody understands, it's a national kind of situation because this is national parks land. So like, you know, the U.S. taxpayer effectively, like if you did a big renovation, might pay for this. The way National Links Trust was going about it was they're a nonprofit that was they won the lease 5 years ago, a 50-year lease to improve this. They're going about it of privately fundraising to create these great, you know, restore and renovate these golf courses. They had just broken ground at Rock Creek with Gil Hance. Bo Welling was signed up to do Langston, and Tom Doak was signed up to restore East Potomac and their reversible golf course there. All of these architects doing this pro bono, so donating their time. But anyway, so, you know, all this stuff takes time. They're doing this. I think where the default was sent is it wasn't going fast enough for some people. Important note from what the National Links Trust has kind of said, we're following the process, and this is out of our hands. We're getting permits. We're following the process set by the government.
Yeah.
Now the government's saying you're not going fast enough, maybe some other things, but you know, this has become, you know, the apple of Donald Trump's eye. Obviously loves golf, and a plan was presented to him from some people in the Department of the Interior of the idea of remaking East Potomac into a golf course, maybe called Washington National. Where the Links Trust had this idea of taking that whole property, you restore the red course, which is the Travis golf course, or is it the blue course? Blue course. Travis golf course. You restore that reversible golf course. Then you'd have a 9-hole par 3 course where like beginners could start playing the game there. That would be one of the 9s on top of the 18-hole reversible. The other 9 would be like a course with like, maybe it's like a par 33, par 4s, par 3s. It's kind of like your step up from the par 3 if you want to get introduced to the game. So, and then you're building to this, you know, Walter Travis reversible golf course that would be a marvel of a golf course. And, you know, Walter Travis, revered golf architect, you know, Garden City Golf Club, Westchester Golf Club, Cape Arundel, many Hollywood Golf Club, great designs of in the golden age, restoring that. And obviously Tom Doak and his crew has done a lot of work on Travis courses through the years. But then, this idea of Washington National has entered the picture, and I think Trump's vision for it is to create that high-end PGA Tour venue golf course. I think the real goal of it would be to host a Ryder Cup there. And I think, hey, this is a different vision. There isn't necessarily a right or a wrong. But this vision, it would be a spectacle. You could imagine a Ryder Cup out there.
Hand up, the Ryder Cup on that plot of land would be sick. I don't know if it would be the best use of that land, maybe, but thinking about it, and it would probably be after I'm dead, maybe, but the idea of it is kind of sick.
So the idea would then be, I think, and this is all the way I would think it would happen. So don't take this as sure. You would see a nonprofit created by, effectively Donald Trump's administration. And then the golf course would be operated by Trump Golf, which is a for-profit, Trump's for-profit golf course arm. Yeah. What the difference here would be, the real difference is the National Links Trust is rooted in history and providing a facility that is an ode to the original purpose of the land, to provide a wonderful place for people to experience the game of golf, whether they're beginners or at the expert level, open to all. The greens fees would be well under $100 for the golf course to anybody in the country, because it's a national park. On Trump's side of the thing, you get a very high end luxe Tom Fazio designed golf course, but you'd be down to 18 holes. Likely, maybe they could do something small, but to have the infrastructure needs for these things, you'd be down to 18 holes. There'd be, there's obviously significant costs with either of these projects. And the likely, I from what I've heard, from various parties closer to this situation, is that the greens fees are believed to be very high, with a price break for DC residents. So listen, it's a complex matter. I think the thing that is interesting about the situation is this land. And when you get these long-term leases, operators, you basically control this land, and you can, especially if you're in a seat of power, presidential seat, you could make a lot of provisions as to what you can do on this very, very valuable piece of property. So I think that's the kind of the thing about it is who is the caretaker for this, property, and what is the best, caretaker for the property? What's the best vision for it? That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty massive golf news story, I would say, for a podcast like this. Even I think it's really significant. I think, obviously, you said there's two different ideas of how to use this valuable property. We should say, the National Links Trust Group knows golf course architecture, knows the history as you outlined it. I think the fact that they have the network to have achieved to get Tom Doak, Gil Hanse, and Bo Willings signed on to work pro bono essentially at these three municipal courses that have fallen out of, pristine condition is evidence enough of their network. And so who do you want to have sort of caretaking, as you said? And it feels like they should be involved in some form or fashion. And if the permitting, honestly, there's a pretty good potential outcome. Now, does the world work that way? The permitting or whatever you're reading between the lines is the government's slow. What is made progress slow, bureaucratic process? Well, Trump could maybe help them with that, or it could help them with funding. It could help
funding,
and let these people who know golf course architecture continue with it feels like on the golf merits, that would be the NLT guys who understand the golf would be a a nice caretaker, and nice people to be involved based on their ideas, understanding, and history background.
I think the ideal situation is that and I think this is when Trump got reelected. There's like the greatest scenario is that Trump loves golf, buys into the National Links Trust vision, and says, how can we help? I help make this happen.
Yeah.
And leave a lasting imprint on that property. The other side of it is it appears that he's got other ideas for it, and he's enamored with it. And one of the other things is that the Department of the Interior, the head of it had the great idea to dump the dirt there, and
from the East Wing project, the demolition. Yeah.
So now that guy's gung ho on the golf course.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating story to see what happens.
I play a lot of golf at Langston, so this is personal for me. I did the 100-hole hike to raise money for the Links Trust, and I'm just gonna say I think it stinks. I really feel like the potential for part of what makes that land great is that it's golf for everyone. And yeah, I'm sure that you could charge $750 to lobbyists to play at a Fazio design. You could have the sort of, the Harding Park model where the locals get a big benefit, and yet you have a PGA Tour level quality course there. But it's not going to be $42 to play there anymore. This is the country's capital. This is kind of where the people of Washington don't have representation. So at least giving them a cheap place to play golf is often feels like, okay, that's one of the wins of being a DC resident. I play there a lot with my friends at Langston, at least. And sometimes I just feel like even if you bump that to $100, $125 and say, oh, well, it's down, it's a 75% discount from what we're normally charging. I just think that's going to price a lot of people out of the game. And I feel disappointed that municipal model, isn't going to sort of be, enhanced in some way, because that was the original kind of purpose for this. But, elections have consequences, and this is a sort of situation where the people in power get to make the decisions. And so, who knows? It seems like a long project to pay off, in as quickly as the president's term might be lasting, the next 3 years or so. So I'm curious to see how that follows, even beyond once he leaves office.
Yeah, I just as a local, DC. I mean, DC's not. I'm just gonna say it's not a very good golf city, quite frankly, for how population size.
These are the only three places to play in DC.
Doesn't mean there's not good golf here, and the clubs are. It's just for as many people live here. It's not Chicago. It's not Philadelphia. It's not New York, and taking maybe one more off the board would be another. I don't know. It's already pretty expensive and overcrowded here, just in terms of options. I would say golf options. So, anyways, significant golf news story. Read it in the newsletter, Andy. I think you outlined it. You've known what was going on at this National Links Trust story for a while now, and have been not involved, but sort of following the story. Sort of a big deal in the golf world. So.
Check out the newsletter. Wrote that up, and then I had Mike McCartan on the pod years ago, 2018 or 2017. We recorded it in a Chicago apartment of mine.
Really?
Yeah. Where he talked about he. That's one of the cool things about one of the things about the National Links Trust, one of the co-founders of Will Smith and Michael McCartan, both of them work for Tom Doak. Michael McCartan is an active shaper. He works, he's designed his own golf courses, but he learned the game at East Potomac. He has that kind of in mind. He did his college thesis on East Potomac and the potential for it. And so we did a podcast about it years ago. It is it's hard. I was looking through kind of some of the old pictures of it, and it's like hard to know how neat that would be from like a golf perspective, and the idea of introducing somebody to that. And this is my personal taste, but you hire 80-year-old Tom Fazio to build a golf course that was, that's the in vogue, 25 years ago. And that's what you're going to get. It's going to be a Fazio. It's going to be fine, but that's kind of the way you describe every Fazio. It's fine. And they're going to spend an outrageous amount of money. And if you go the Fazio route, it makes it virtually impossible to ever go back to the Travis, which was a one-of-a-kind design at the time. But you know what? When it's generally whoever is making the hiring of a golf architect hires someone of their era. So Trump's 79, Fazio's 80. And then on the Links Trust side, if you want to critique them, they hired the guy that they work for, who has 10, to be complete, it has 10 of the world, and the latest world top 100 list has 10% of the world's top 100. So it's like from a qualitative or a quantitative point of view, from the top 100 list, the greatest architect in the living right now. And
if they do, you said the Fazio would be probably more expensive thing to do.
More expensive and less golf, less capacity. Here's the thing: if you have 36 holes, you could start to push towards like the numbers. I think when they opened the additional 9, the 27, I was reading through the dissertation. It did 150,000 9-hole rounds.
Whoa!
And
you're talking in like the 20s and the 30s.
Yeah, the 20s.
When golf's not even.
What's fascinating, after this opened, there were beliefs that golf was going to overtake baseball as the national pastime.
Well, maybe that's why Theo Epstein's finally seen the light come over. That's why he wants to work for this. Yeah. No,
we're doing our best. We're doing our best to push this into 3 hour.
If it's national parks land and the taxpayers pay for it, if we're going to go the more expensive route, there is a cost for that too, right? Now it's maybe a drop in the bucket when you talk about the national budget, but anyways, I think like obviously there's a strong call to personality around the president, right? And when you just say something Trump, it makes it political. Like regardless, you could say Trump water, and all of a sudden it's like political. That doesn't like. This is purely for right now, like kind of a golf conversation of what you prefer in terms of your golf course architecture. And I think on the golf merits, there's certainly a debate. There's certainly two distinct choices, is what you've outlined, is what I would say. All right.
Guess, if you the other argument, the other thing you could think about this is like, from like Yosemite has like a gate fee that you pay when you come in. And how would America, and this is golf and it's just a small thing, and the national parks don't have that much golf in their portfolio, right? But how would it feel if Yosemite's decided to renovate and all of a sudden the cost, 10x'd and capacity was cut in half? Now, like some of the population would be very happy, like the high end appeal. Maybe they make it a luxe, destination resort. Yeah, some people will be happy about that, but the greater sum of the people would be unhappy. And I think like at the crux of this is that, and people might call me, I don't identify as a liberal or a Republican. Like I don't identify as either. I was an environmental science major. One thing that I did a lot of studying around was national parks, and the whole point of them is to be open and accessible by the general population. And in its current form, East Potomac and these national parks courses are very accessible. It's $40 to go play right now. I think the plan would be have them clock in around this East Potomac clock in around 60 or so after the renovation. Still very accessible in terms of golf. The short course, the other thing, very accessible. And at the end of the day, a national park project costing, let's just call it $400 or $500, doesn't seem to fit with the overall portfolio. But I understand where there could be ambitions to do that.
I mean, if Trump loves golf and this Department of the Interior guy is trying to, be Trump's buddy, maybe we need a national parks golf system where we're just building golf courses all over the place in all the national parks.
That's the thing.
Yellowstone National sounds sick.
I would be into that. I might be into that kind of idea. I would imagine others would not be.
There's a golf course in Yosemite that I've been dying to check out called Wawana.
Yeah.
I hear it's like, like the maintenance is like very spotty.
Sure.
One of the other things is Trump always flies over East Potomac in his chopper going in there.
Yeah.
So always like looking at it, dreaming of what it could be.
Ryder Cup.
There's a golf course in Glacier Park too.
Well, let's make national park golf great again. Let's build them all over the place. Yeah, that would, I'm sure, get some.
Well, you know what? He could call up somebody else and he could give him this advice.
All I know is golf is the engine of good.
All right. Well, that engine of good needs to run on sleep. And if you need good sleep, you go to lagoonsleep.com/SGS. You need good sleep. You take a 2-minute sleep quiz to find your match. Use the code SGS for 15% off your first purchase. That's SGS. You get 15% off your first purchase. Their holiday sale is officially live. So, I mean, what's a holiday sale? Black Friday becomes holiday sale. We're just having fun with terms here. But 15% off with the code SGS. My pop and the sponsor, PJ, you look worried about that with their terminology. I'm not suggesting. We love our lagoon. I had a great weekend of sleep on my lagoon.
You know what? My entire family is requesting lagoon pillows for Christmas gifts from me.
Really?
They've heard me talk about it. They've heard me rave about it. This is not on air. I've been saying this at Thanksgiving dinner. I was talking about how great this pillow is.
Well, think about stuff you get for Christmas or the holidays that you don't use. The pillow, by nature of the way the world works, you're going to use that every day, every night. You're using the pillow. So
you might use it more than anything else in your life.
I have a rotation. I'll hand up. I don't use lagoon every time. I've gone to a platoon situation, but I had to bring the lagoon in this weekend. It was great. Lagoonsleep.com/SGS, 15% off, and then you can bundle. Like, it looks like Andy's got his whole family bugging him. If you bundle, you get up to $160 off bundles.
I gotta be bundling up here.
Bundle it all away at lagoonsleep.com/SGS. All right, let's get back to year in review.
Real quick before we get there, Bears are back in first place.
How good did the Pack lose?
Pack lose, Lions lose.
I got to push notification.
Extra victory Monday today.
Did Micah Parsons tear his ACL? Did I see that? Oof.
Micah Parsons did? I saw Mahomes did. That's the official.
Yeah.
Both of them did. Phillip Rivers lost. It's all crumbling down.
Wow.
Phillip Rivers is legit fat. I didn't
admitted it at the beginning
totally.
of the week.
I don't mean that as a critique. Power to him. He's mid-40s fella with 25 kids. But he flashed across my feed. I was like, who is this Jared Lorenzen type tumbling around, like doing barrel rolls on the ground? Looking like
rest in peace, Jared Lorenzen.
Like Chuck doing a little, tumble down a hill. I love it. But he acquitted himself decently. He did fine. He did not well, but did okay. It wasn't a disaster. Anyways, that's NFL Minute here. By the way, Nico has a new friend. That Rozo is very close with Nico Echevarria. That's your Nico minute to accommodate to.
There you go. That we haven't done a Nico minute in a long time. I
Rozo
appreciate
is
you
buddies.
doing that.
Q-School Rozo is tight with Nico.
That's good. We didn't want the Nico fans to come at us.
All right, who's up first? We're going to the RBC Heritage. I believe it's PJ. We just got done with the Masters. I mean, you talk about having to follow an absolute cinema of a show in the Masters. And then you got RBC Heritage coming to town at Harbortown. What do we got, Peach?
Rory won the Masters. I don't know if you guys heard this. I don't know if this is breaking news to anybody, but that's what most of this week is Rory won the Masters. So we'll start here. This comes out overnight, Sunday into Monday. Rory does an interview on Sky, and he says, quote, "You can't win all 4 majors in a year if you haven't won the first one." So we're already opening Pandora's box of the Rory Slam. Can he do it? Look at how well this all sets up for him. We're going to Quail Hollow. Isn't this great? Obviously, that does not happen, but I love that we're starting this overnight on Sunday after he wins the Masters. We're just getting that out of the way. Everybody's totally starting that.
I mean,
quickly.
that was a real discourse.
Oh, yeah. That happened for the majority of this week and would continue until Quail. Also, Rory changes his social bios to Grand Slam winner, takes out all of his prior, Nike, TaylorMade athlete, whatnot, whatever was in there. It's just Grand Slam winner now.
Logged in to update his bio. You think? Okay.
I don't.
Right.
I do not think that, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong. But
should have had Steve Elkington do it. Log in to change his bio. All right, go ahead.
Deep cut there by Porath.
People love that. Bryson appears at Pinehurst for his U.S. Open plaque ceremony first thing on Monday morning.
Right.
After losing the Masters in the final group. This is just an interesting timing.
Yeah.
So goes out there, takes some selfies in the bunker, hits the bunker shot not as well on 18, but we get our Bryson content even after a Masters loss.
Thinking back, we're going to go back to part 5 and make it even longer now. Andy talked about how Bryson let go of the rope a lot. And I was thinking more about that over the weekend because I think that is where Rory, I'm 4 or 5 up, I'm going to win. And I'm not suggesting he let go of the rope himself, but I think he thought it was going to be a one-on-one duel, or Bryson was the biggest challenge and threat. And then once Bryson sort of let go of the rope, it felt over. It felt like Bryson wasn't going to be caught elsewhere. I don't know. I'm not saying that was Rory's mindset, but that was mine following it. Anyways, Bryson, he could have won the Masters had he just dug down. But I think it also then had a little bit of an effect, my analysis, on Rory then going forward once he got through 11 and then 12. Anyways.
Absolutely.
So
I think Rory took his foot off the gas.
Yeah.
If Bryson doesn't just kind of self-destruct, there's no way Rory lays up on 13.
Right.
No.
Right. And I mean, of course he's thinking about everyone on the course, but I think that he was.
It's easier when it's right there in front of you.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. Bryson's back at Pinehurst.
Smiling with his plaque, taking pictures with the Stanford's women's golf team is there for ACC championships. Stanford and the ACC in North Carolina.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
They're there to
I gotta get out and watch some ACC hoops.
Yeah, you got it.
That season.
You live in the ACC hotbed out there. I mean, Northern California, the Atlantic coast.
Apparently, Duke Cal tickets are going for $600 a seat.
Wow,
jeez, that's crazy.
That's
good for Cal.
There's only 1,500 seats there.
Good for Cal. Yeah, the house.
I've gone to a game there that literally. There's been 100 people at.
Yeah.
Well, that can help pay Cal's NIL stuff. They got to raise money somehow for.
Have they claimed Mendoza as a Heisman winner?
They should. They've built him.
Is that a lot of chatter up there this weekend, Andy?
I'm sorry to derail this, but he's such a goofball. There's no way he can be a good NFL quarterback being a goober like he is.
Thank you.
I think he might be the irrationally confident version.
You have to have a certain personality to be a good NFL quarterback, and he ain't it.
I don't disagree with you.
Everybody name a random Cal basketball player. Name a guy. Leon Poe.
Lamont Murray.
Kidd.
The first one I
the
have
kid is random.
Jaylen Brown doesn't count as random, but this is the first one that I have.
There you go. All right, continue on. Sorry, Cal Bears.
Who'd you say?
I said Leon Poe.
Leon Poe is a good pull.
Leon Poe is a great one.
Yeah.
All right,
Lamont Murray, am I getting that right? Is Lamont Murray?
Cal's got great uniforms.
They
They're
do.
basketball uniforms.
Yeah, they do.
That's one of my
football jerseys are good too. I like the football.
I love it. I remember watching a formative early, New Year's Day bowl. Cal played something like the Citrus Bowl. I was like, God, Cal's kind of cool. I was like a 5-year-old impressionable, 6-year-old. From then on, I was just sort of enamored with Cal. Like him running out and hit this banner. I was like, oh, Cal football. Sounds like a real deal. I got into Cal football from a random New Year's bowl.
Yeah, Lamont Murray played for Cal. That was a better pick than you guys gave me.
That is a good one. That's a good pull. That's a good pull.
All right, Andy, your favorite topic, really Brendan's favorite topic, is Josh Carpenter has threatened to tag him in every tweet for the next year. Ratings come out for the Masters. Final round drew 12.7 million viewers, up 33% for 2024, and the most watched since 2018, which was won by P. Peaked at 19.5 million at 7:15, which was right around the end of the playoff. In addition to the strong U.S. audience, Sky Sports in the U.K. says Sunday was its most watched day in network history. 7.5 million people tuned in for the whole round, with a record peak of 1.85 million around midnight, which is when the tournament ended. So everybody loves them some Rory. We have a field update on the Corrales Punta Cana early here in the week. This is a tweet from PGA Tour Comms that has Monday, Sean O'Hare, WD, Ben Crane in the field. Taylor Moore, WD, David Hearn in. Tuesday, the gentleman, Thorbjorn Olesen, withdraws for Dylan Fratelli to work his way in. And Brad Snedeker withdraws to get Jimmy Walker in. This makes the rounds. Everybody is tagging us on Twitter, and I tell people, please stop because we have to play in-out alternate on Wednesday, which we do, and provides us this moment.
Duffy Waldorf.
No.
Out. No.
Duffy Waldorf.
Duffy Waldorf is an alternate.
Oh my God. That can't be. Come on. It's 2025.
Unfortunately, Duffy did not make it into the final field. I wish he did. That would have been so much better. But that was a good one. Also this week, pre-week, Grant Horvat reveals that he has gotten a sponsor's exemption into the CUDA, but is unsure. Quote, truly on the fence. Should I play?
I mean,
What a
this is one of the softest things I've ever seen, to be honest.
should I play? You got an exemption to a tour event. If you consider yourself a competitive elite golfer, yeah, there's no decision. You play, right?
Okay.
I think the thing is you don't juxtapose and tell everybody you don't know if you should play, thus stirring up controversy and attention for weeks while you decide if you play or not.
It's a fair take. I will say, not the last YouTube scandal of the week, as Wesley Bryan gets suspended from the PGA Tour. This is a Ryan French Monday Q exclusive interview with Wes Bryan, who gets suspended from the PGA Tour as a result of participating in the live duels. That was, I think, 2 weeks ago at this point. Wes was in the field for Punta Cana. Shows up at Punta Cana just to walk what? The grounds.
You don't remember this? He showed up. Do you guys know the story of Island of Dr. Moreau, the movie?
I had your tweet lined up, so you just take it. You go.
So the director of the Island of Dr. Moreau, which stars Marlon Brando, he got fired like in the middle of the filming, and it's one of the most insane stories in Hollywood history. He like hid in the woods instead of like going home. They were filming that like in the Philippines or something. And then he like dressed up like with costume and is like an extra in the film. Like he showed up, and that's all I could think about was like, was Bryan showing up at this event? Like he gets suspended and he won't go home. He decides he's going to show up and like be a weirdo and sort of be a fan of the edge of the thing. It's just the most bizarre thing ever.
I'm shocked that the camera found him to share that he was there. Right.
So
I gotta say, the tour suspending him for playing in the live duels, not even the actual live,
silly,
is like so Charmin soft.
Yeah,
just
it's
absolutely preposterous.
So, as you can probably imagine, everybody's worked up on Twitter. This picture coming out, it's like, this picture is absolutely hilarious. Like, I don't want to force people to go watch this on YouTube, but maybe just for this 5 seconds to see this picture as he's staring longingly into the distance, wishing he could tee it up at the Corrales Punta Cana Championship.
We assume that he found out about this suspension once he got there, right?
Yeah, that's my assumption.
Yeah,
right?
I believe.
I wouldn't
guarantee it. I wouldn't guarantee that.
He had to.
I mean, he was in the field. He was qualified for the event.
Yeah.
So that's,
I like this. I like to imagine more that he just decided to go anyway.
well, he had it booked before the live duels, you would assume. So good on him for using it. So this is Twitter is. There's a smattering of people on Twitter caring about this, and I would say there's a larger smattering saying that maybe the greatest Masters ever just happened 2 days ago. I cannot be bothered. Brendan, you had a tweet of I just don't care. The Stephen A, like, we do not care. We do not care about the YouTube.
If he's in, I'm fine. If he's out, I'm fine. I just have no time for this anymore.
Speaking of Punta Cana, Corrales extends their deal with the PGA Tour through 2027. So whatever reworked schedule we're going to have maybe at some point, don't forget the Corrales Punta Cana Championship because they have a contract.
I think they'll be forgetting it. You know what? Contracts be damned.
Brendan, you reveal that you're going to be celebrating Rory's Masters win at Disney World, which provides just a bevy of content this week. Andy, you have a wonderful quote referring to the Super Bowl MVPs, saying we're going to Disney World. Why are 33-year-old men going to Disney World? What is this ad campaign? Imagine saying, I'm going to Acapulco. This is where I'm going to celebrate. Why are we sending these, high-level athletes to get drunk on a parade float in downtown Disney? Brendan checks in. First stop, Epcot, Norway, chatting it up with people about Victor Hovland.
They weren't aware of his work, believe it or not.
And then this is from later in the week. A picture of you on the Tron ride.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
What was it like following Rory on Sunday? Let me show you.
I mean, you or is a Peyton Manning?
I have a big forehead. Thank you.
I didn't say that. I just live by Peyton
I know
Manning.
What you're saying. I've lost a lot up front. Yeah, I totally checked out this week, and I have not gone back. I'd never even bothered to catch up.
Anyway, you didn't
I will
miss a
now,
lot.
I guess. I will now.
Yeah, here you go. Every piece of mail in the United Kingdom from this week has been stamped with a special congratulatory message for Rory McIlroy. So this is a picture of a letter saying, congratulations, Rory McIlroy, on completing your career Grand Slam. So everybody worldwide, you're celebrating in Epcot, Norway. The UK is celebrating. Everybody, it's just Rory Mania. The guy who lost to Rory, I don't know if he would have. I mean, maybe he would have in the UK gotten a special stamp. Justin Rose, Team Rose, gives a wonderful answer in the press conference before the RBC Heritage that I want to play right now. I thought this was very, very good. And with now looking back, hindsight, I appreciated this that much more.
Have energy. Why are you doing this at age 43 with a pretty sizable list of accomplishments already? What keeps you going at this stage?
Just the belief that I still can have these special moments in the game is what I'm calling them. I think that little things like holding the putt on the Friday, the Ryder Cup with all the team around me, that's a moment I'll remember. Like, it's a special moment. Even the Open Championship was special, walking down 18, being right in it, holding the putt at Augusta on 18 on Sunday and seeing the crowd stand up. And those are special moments. I want it to be accompanied with the requisite trophy as well, don't get me wrong, but the reason I'm playing is to sort of feel those those moments that really matter in your career and in your life. And I believe that the point is, the reason I'm working hard enough to do it is because I still have that belief that it's possible. And I think that that's why these weeks are important for me still, is that it's just reaffirming that it's still possible.
What a top bloke.
Good answer.
Good answer. Obviously gets that moment with a playoff win, gets that moment at the Ryder Cup. So good for Rosie for hanging in there. To the actual golf, JT scores it ties the scoring record at the Heritage with a Thursday 61. He has Joe Greiner still on the bag here as a little holdover from the Masters. At this point, he had not won since the 2022 PGA. In Punta Cana, Joel Damon ties the record with the 62 on Thursday, so everybody's going low early. Billy, at one point, I believe this is Friday, hits a fan in the crowd in Hilton Head and signs this guy's leg with one of the biggest welts I've ever seen in my life. Just a ginormous golf ball-sized welt on somebody's shin. And Billy, of course, provides a viral moment for Twitter by signing it. Do you guys remember who won Punta Cana?
No.
No.
Billy won 1 year, right?
Billy
That's
won
2 years
last
ago, or
last year.
Not
Yeah.
2 years ago, yep.
Garrick Higo wins Punta Cana and is thirst bucket of the week because he's has no sponsors, no logos anywhere. He's wearing Red Sox hats, bizarrely, for some reason. He later gets a Malbon sponsorship after this, but is total catnip because he grew his hair out. He's got no logos. He's wearing whatever clothes he wants. Joel Damon is going essentially wire to wire at this thing, finishes bogey to have Higo backdoor his way into the win in Punta Cana. JT on Saturday in Hilton Head calls a penalty on himself as his ball moves in a bunker, fairway bunker, while he's clearing out loose impediments. Still makes a par, so kind of like a good, karmic moment for JT. Andrew Novak becomes the first player to play in 3 final pairings in 2025 as he gets into the final group with Siwoo Kim on Sunday in Hilton Head. He's one back, tied with JT of Siwoo. They make dueling birdies coming in on 16. Justin Thomas and Andrew Novak do to get into a playoff. JT makes a bomb for birdie on the first playoff hole. Gives like a good celebration. This is the CBS drone shot from overhead here. This is his first win, as I said before, since the 2022 PGA. First win in 1,064 days. A lot of Joe Greiner questions come up after this, but he says that Rev will be back on the bag when he's healthy and ready. Neil Shipley wins the Corn Ferry Tour event. That was a big social pop moment. That was 5 playoff holes for Neil Shipley to virtually put himself in a position to get his card, which obviously he does. But it was that early that he had been that successful so far in the middle of April now. And lastly, I'll wrap this up. Pretty quick event. Just a lot of Rory holdover stuff. But no Friday episode. Andy withdraws with the stomach bug, so we put out John Daly at Hooters lighting up a cigarette directly in my grill with his good boy vodka sodas and his Hooters wings. So there you go. Me and JD chopping it up. R.I.P. Augusta Hooters. It was a great place to stand outside for 15 minutes in a very bizarre circumstance of my life.
It's not rubble.
I forgot about having it in my days for when you went to Hooters during Friday of Masters. I meant to apologize for that.
I think that would have added maybe some more time to 4 hours. So I'm glad that we could cover it now. But R.I.P. Augusta Hooters.
This might be 4 hours.
We fared us well. Well, you're up. It's Zurich. This is one of the biggest events.
This is going to be a short one.
Yeah.
Great.
This is going to be quick. Maybe it was coming off the Masters. I just didn't feel like there was that much going on that was worthy of even mentioning. Rory's back in action, defending the Zurich with Shane Lowry. Said he spoke to 2 presidents the day after winning the Masters, Trump and Obama.
God, the Zurich got the Rory Masters windfall. Like that's where he landed. That's insane. Okay.
some more quotes from it. To be with Erica and Poppy and my mom and dad, and to see Michael Bannon, my lifelong coach, and spend a bit more time with Harry and his wife, and just celebrate with the people that have been part of this whole thing my entire career, my entire life, was absolutely amazing. That was about going. He flew back to Northern Ireland after winning. He added, "It's not every day you get to fulfill one of your lifelong goals and dreams, and I've just really tried to enjoy everything that comes along with it. I don't think I'll have to ever play a harder round of golf in my life. I certainly don't want to be placed on that 15th tee box on Sunday afternoon. So to be able to get through that and produce the shots that when I needed to, that obviously gives me confidence, and I can always draw back on that experience." Shane Lowry had a great quip. Said, "I said to my caddy on the 15th hole at Augusta, obviously I was done. So I was watching the leaderboard, and I think he'd probably just made a double on 13. And I said to Darren, no matter what happens in the next few holes, I think we're going to do well to get into New Orleans. If things don't go his way, I don't think he'd want to be here. And if I thought if things go his way, he'd want to be somewhere else. But I'm happy he's here."
That's a good analysis.
VP, you said that it's easier to be a captain of a Ryder Cup team than it is to be to plan a full-blown day at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, anybody can just decide to put Harris English and Morikawa back out again for vibes, but yeah, trying to scheme the fast passes all around is very challenging.
You got kids that won't ride in the same ride together. Like certain players won't play together. 5
seats and 6 passes and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, that's tricky.
The boys joined me one of the episodes this week to make fake teams for the Zurich.
It was a great boys episode.
We had some good ones. We had some good.
I was howling laughing on the flight back from
a couple pullouts. The role model team from Joseph, which was Matt Kuchar and Max Gracerman. PJ had Minwoo Lee and Stu Sink. The chef gets into the kitchen. I suggested that ZJ and Keegan play together to foster synergy in the administration. To which I think it was Joseph said ZJ would have to ask someone for Keegan's number.
That's dumb fun. That's some dumb fun there. That's good.
Zurich is so enthralled. They extend their sponsorship to 2030. So who knows what that means for the scarcity schedule?
There's a lot of sponsorships running for a long time. That's what it seems like to me.
I mean, Century goes for like 20, 30 something, 35. I may never go to Kepler again.
This is all from a Josh Carpenter report. He also says that full field title sponsors are going for between 14 and 18 million.
Wow.
So things are good.
Yeah.
More Josh Carpenter fixture of this
pod, yeah.
Ratings.
Come on.
Sunday number for RBC is 4.36 million on CBS. It was the largest for the final round of the event since 2002. For the weekend, average 3.3, up 62%. Just riding the wave of Rory winning. The Chevrons this week, it's just an utter disaster the whole week.
It was bad, right? It was just
awful.
Weather wasn't good. And the leaderboard was bad, right?
Shaq had just like an incredible write-up. He was like, until the playoff, the crowds made it look like it was like a mid-major college event. He then pointed out how like the reason for moving it from the Dinah Shore from the Dinah Shore was like the need for all this hospitality, which was completely empty until Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Then the point of the if you remember, they have all this hospitality build out. There's water in front of the green on 18, a par 5. Everybody's just blowing it into the grandstand.
Yeah. The rules officials just always coming out to give them drop. right? Off the grand
Yeah.
or relief from the grandstand. Yeah.
Everybody's fumbling down the stretch. Mao Saigo won. She shot 74 in a 5-way playoff, but also Arya Katanagarn had one of the worst chip shots you'll ever see. She basically she barely moved the ball.
Oh yeah.
From off the
stuck
green.
it right in the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, she should have won. Let's see the Sunday pace of play. Final group threesome. Guess what the pace of play was?
At Chevron?
Chevron.
Let's go 5:30.
5:15.
5:46.
Oh, God.
Had to just blow through like the NBC window, right? Where I assume they were like on NBC or something. Yeah.
Then the 5-way playoff. So Saigo wins.
God, yeah.
Let's get to Zurich. Ben Griffin, I just it's a major. It's not a major. It's not. So just the shittiest event. Chevron.
Okay.
Chevron.
Yeah.
It is. I was
going to say, if we're doing Zurich slander, I mean, we gotta relax.
The Chevron is just you can't just move a tournament, slap a new title sponsor on it, and say it's a major. It's honestly embarrassment to the LPGA. Hopefully the venue change will help, but this event's been awful since they moved it.
Yeah.
Zurich, Ben Griffin and Andrew Novak win over the Højgaards. First win for both of them. So this win paved the way for Novak's win today with Lauren Coughlin. And obviously, Novak, biggest Ryder Cup snub. The guy hasn't lost a team event.
It's true. Disgusting that
Facts.
they've overlooked that. Yeah.
Factual
Boil
statement.
it down. Sure.
Novak's win, it comes in his 100th start, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So his first win, 100th start. It's the start of the BG Mania, too. Just the start of BG Mania.
It was amazing looking at Punta Cana. He got into Heritage's, I think, swing 5. He had to withdraw from Punta Cana. He was in Punta Cana and ended as one of the 10 best players in the world. Just an absurd run.
This is the first win for Max Fly in who knows how long. Probably 2 decades. Underlying storyline of the week.
Love that.
Penji, another breakout star of the year. Marco Penji wins for the first time on the DP World. Neiman wins Live Hong Kong, and at this point, it's his 3rd win in 6 Live events. So, of course, there's all kinds of, chatter about him being the best player in the world. Sunday, one of the big, big moments of Sunday at Zurich was there was a power outage at the Zurich Classic. So they kicked into coverage of the Zurich Classic. And instead of that, you got bonus coverage of PGA Tour champions. And they also aired last year's Zurich.
I remember everybody having to deal with Zinger. This was the first time that Zinger really made it to the big TV, the big spot. It was a big day for the Champions Tour.
That's good.
So Bacon had a good tweet about the Corn Ferry Tour. They played the Texas Rangers course, which always is just a birdie fest.
Yeah. Pitching.
This is I just thought it was interesting with Johnny Kiefer going to the tour, Johnny Kiefer mania about to set in. Because Brennan's yesterday's news and Clanton is like a stale piece of bread at this point. The KFT dudes always rip up Texas Rangers Golf Club, but I found this pretty wild. Johnny Kiefer made 3 or better on 36 of his 72 holes this week. Half of his holes were either a 2 or a 3.
It's insane. I have a similar stat for the PGA Tour CJ CUP Byron Nelson coming as well. Similar, but that's a PGA Tour event. What's going on in DFW area?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. A couple other. Sorry, I got a text.
I know you did. I could tell. We've done this for 7 years.
Trying to multitask. I'm trying to get a family dinner order in while
we've done this for a long time. I could tell.
Couple other things. We launched our new website, which was big news.
Big news in our corner of the world.
The Tatis aluminum bat video came out, and Tatis just launches. Wow, the aluminum bat. Play that again. To which I really enjoyed this one. Took a run. This is effectively pro golf right there in a nutshell. You could explain what equipment's done for pro golf is right there. Watching Fernando Tatis hit a home run with an aluminum bat. Now I've buried the lead here purposely.
I was gonna say I thought the transition was from the website, but we can do it this way.
Peach, you have to recluse yourself. One of the biggest technological developments in golf history
Where are we going?
happened this week, and I want to ask you guys: do you know what happened?
Where are we going with this?
No.
Zurich week. No, I don't know. What was it?
Peach, play the video.
Hey everyone, Xander Schauffele here. I've got something exciting to announce. We've just launched an app that brings you even closer to everything happening in my world. With this app, you'll get exclusive access to official merchandise from sponsors, limited edition memorabilia, and additional content that you won't find anywhere else. It's all in one place. Gear, signed items, and special moments I'm excited to share with you. This is my way of staying connected with the incredible fans who've been with me every step of the way. The app is available now in the App Store and Google Play, so go ahead and download it today.
It's like a
X gonna give it to you.
hostage video. He's just reading the script. The Xander app. But now I know why I forgot when you were quizzing us what app.
Pete, how many times have you gotten updates for the Xander app since then? I mean, does it regularly appear in your updates list?
There have been some bug fixes. I'm opening the app now. Today is December 14th. You're listening to this maybe late on the 14th, more likely the 15th. The last update was October 23rd.
Oh,
The update before that was, and it was Xander Schauffele finds his old self with second round 63 at the Bay Current. Not even
He won that.
Not even.
They didn't do the win update.
Not even he wins.
Wow.
Xander Schauffele finds himself with second round 63 at the Bay Current. The one before that was September 17th, where he talks Ryder Cup and fatherhood. Nothing about playing the Ryder Cup. Nothing. Don't worry about playing the Ryder Cup. So it remains to be seen how X the Everything app is going to maintain through 2026. But boy, am I glad that we got the time that we did.
God, somebody that like Xander went to college with at like Cal
I
State
believe
or
I heard at
has
one
to be
point.
running this shit show.
I heard at one point. I believe it is a friend of his from high school. I believe
It's always, yes, that's the easiest place to look when someone's got a shitty app, a professional athlete, is that somebody they went to school with is running the show.
However, I mean, we did talk about a couple weeks ago that Club Xander is that, or Xander's Club, whatever he's calling it. That was unveiled a couple weeks ago. It hasn't made it to the app yet, but maybe we're focusing all our effort on Club Xander as opposed to the app. We're just moving.
On that episode with the boys this week, we were discussing whether we might need to shift our strategy with fried egg if the X app becomes really popular, because like he was going to aggregate in articles about Xander. Should we be using that as a way to reach new audience by writing, Xander stories that then get aggregated into this ever popular app that he has constructed?
Yeah.
Claire Rogers had just an outstanding tweet. This just checked my screen time for the day.
Xander.
And it's a Photoshop, obviously, Xander Schauffele official app, 10 hours, 21 minutes. Safari, 4 hours, 8 minutes. YouTube, 1 hour, 38 minutes. Just like outstanding tweet. So anyways,
I can't believe that any of this happened. I mean, he won the Bay Current, nothing. October 23rd, September 17th, August 5th, June 19th, and then 3 articles during the PGA. That's it. Since the PGA, there have been 4 articles on this app.
Doesn't run a tight shop there.
I think that remembering the Xander app, the launch of the Xander app is like quintessential why your review exists.
I can't.
Yeah,
it's the best. It might be the best thing that happened all year. Sorry to Rory and your legions of fans winning the Masters. The X app. I mean, you can't make that up.
Play the first 10 seconds, but I love his read on the, like, clearly reading from the script. I love it.
Hey everyone, Xander Schauffele here. I've got something exciting to announce. We've just launched an app that brings you even closer to everything happening in my world.
I just love his face, the way he's positioned, and the way it's just very clearly didn't even
holding his phone, you think, just off the screen.
And the video, it probably looks worse as I'm playing it over the internet right now. But if you go back and find the original tweet, I don't know why you would, but if you wanted to, this video is in 280p. Whoever he sent it to post it on Twitter, the quality is just horrendous. It's the most pixelated. It's this is a deep internet cut. The Festus Ezeli thank you Golden State video where it looks like he posted it on a potato. That's what this looks like. And this is launch an app, a technology product on the internet.
Not out of when Apple unveils a new product, maybe not out of their marketing and branding department. That didn't come out with a big thing.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I need Stefan going through Excel sheets, and Xander's why are we paying $200,000 to this high school person who designed this app with just 4 updates in the last 4 months? This is ridiculous.
Oh, it's Club Xander now. We got it. It could be anything.
Everything going on in my world. Nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for this. All right, that's good. What else we got, Andy? Anything from
That's
Zurich?
it. That's
all right,
it. We're recovering.
We're going to Texas.
We're here. up the pace
We're
here.
going to Texas. Big Texas.
People said this wasn't possible.
The most Frankenstein event of the year. The most preposterous title in a tour and sport full of preposterous titles. The CJ CUP Byron Nelson at TPC Craig T. Nelson Ranch. We'll begin with Joseph in the newsletter, not on the Byron Nelson, but Joseph in the newsletter. Folks, we're 3 solid weeks away, folks, we're 3 solid rounds away from the best 8 words in golf. Michael Block has qualified for the PGA Championship. I thought that was pretty good. The Arroyo Trabuco Pro is off to a blistering hot start with a 7 under 64 to opening round to co-lead with Tyler Collette. How does Quail Hollow set up for Blackie's game? Well, it's located on planet Earth and has grass, so it sets up just fine. This is Lamagna sort of stretching his legs. Practically speaking, Quail's a bomber's paradise, but they said the same thing about Oak Hill, didn't they? When you're one of the greatest wedge players of your generation, traditional statistical narratives don't always apply. So Blackie, once he posted the 64, it was basically possible for him to fall out of the Corebridge Financial top 20, and he qualifies this week at the PGA Club Pro. He's back representing the Corebridge Financial team at Quail Hollow, which I totally forgot. I don't think they froze him out PGA week, or maybe Don Rea just sort of overwhelmed the star power.
He was not frozen out. A bigger star emerged and pushed him to the front.
Another fellow member just took all the shine. Rory goes on Fallon, Jimmy Fallon this week. We haven't he's doing his post-Masters car wash. I had a tweet. I watched the Rory appearance on Fallon, whose interview style seems to entirely consist of giggling and heaving himself across his desk in various ways. Fallon, completely worthless interview. We haven't heard much from Rory, really. He's at Zurich, and he goes on Fallon, and Fallon was just a complete empty suit. It was a terrible, terrible interview. We didn't get a lot of substance. Brant Snedeker is announced as U.S. captain for P Cup, Jeff Ogilvy for the Internationals. We get this week. Sportico reported that Live Golf was, quote, in advanced talks with the official World Golf Rankings. I then found someone spoke to Trevor Immelman, who's head of the OWGR, and he said, he said advanced talks was interesting phrasing. Was all I'll say. It was his sort of. I don't know if it was a response, but yes, that was a Sportico report. Colin Morikawa gets on the Joe Griner, looking for the Joe Griner bump that he just gave to JT. Yeah. He fires Djokovic.
These guys are passing around Joe Griner like he's a Hollywood groupie in the 70s or something.
Yeah. He's now Joe Griner. Now who's he with now?
Yeah, it just got
Akshay. That's right. Yeah. That's right. So he's with Joe Griner, Morikawa. Not a long-lasting relationship. This is a wild look back. I didn't realize this was this year. It feels like 10 years ago. This was I think Josh Carpenter, another Carpenter report. The PGA Tour is reportedly targeting NASCAR Commissioner Steve Phelps and TaylorMade CEO David Abelees for its open CEO position. So Rolab, maybe on the board somewhere, but the first two guys mentioned were NASCAR Commissioner and David Abelees, TaylorMade CEO, which would be sort of letting the fox in the henhouse on an equipment standpoint. Letting Abelees slide right into that position, but we end up with Rolab. I don't remember that process like that. There's an event in Korea, Korea, but the CJ Cup is this Korean company, and DFW has this Korean, diaspora. Like a big part of it is in DFW. So you've got all like the best Korean players playing in this just gonzo titled event, CJ CUP Byron Nelson, at some crap course in the Metroplex, while there's an actual event in Live. So, but none of the good Korean players are at Live. That's Sunjae, Ben An, Tom Kim, Siwoo Kim. They're all at Live. They're all at CJ Cup in Texas. So just kind of a mess for golf, kind of indicative of like golf being just spread all over the place and people trying to bolt on this idea and that idea. I wrote in the newsletter, I don't know if I sent this as an asset, PJ. I don't think I did. Was the world crying out for a docuseries on Blue Jack National? So we get episode 2 of Tiger Arrives.
Multi-episodes. Wow.
Reunion surprises and a gift we didn't see coming. More episodes coming to Blue Jack National docuseries. Episode 2 is out. I don't know why we need a docuseries on that. There's Texas in May. Does Texas in May things. There's a total deluge. I think I sent you this, PJ, like flooding, not just like water pooling on the greens, like flooding all over the place, going into like across the course. So we know it's already just a down week. On the same day, the course is essentially flooded. Zalatoris WDs, he's like a local, one of the stars. Gary Woodland WDs, was one of the name players, former major winner. Of course, the event just can't catch a break. In Live Korea happenings, Bryson goes 65, 66, 66 to win by 2 shots over Charles Howell III. We wrote, this is DeChambeau. He struggled getting across the line. There was the Masters, mess up, but he struggled in Live events too. He wasn't finishing. He hadn't won in like 2 years almost. I think, obviously, aside from, it'd been Pinehurst, June Pinehurst, but hadn't won on Live in a couple of years. But we wrote, perhaps it didn't help that DeChambeau's final group playing partners were 52-year-old Richard Bland and 45-year-old Charles Howell III for his competitive final round crucible. This is like he's got to beat out. But he did. He was 4 up on Dick Bland, and 5 up on Howell, and he kind of sputtered coming in, but did get across the line.
Blandy got super hot starting right now.
Yeah,
because he started playing well. He played at the PGA too. This is big time for Blandy.
He said he was personally pretty nervous on the front 9, getting stared down by Dick Bland. Other Live happenings at CJ CUP Byron Nelson. Live or Merido. I assume the Merido owner flies a banner. Come to Live Merido around the CJ Cup. I don't know what this is, like a water tower at TPC Craig Ranch that's in the foreground.
One of the Live bots too.
But yeah, enjoy the Nelson, and Live Golf is coming to Merido June, whatever it is, 27th. So that we're flying overhead at the PGA Tour event. I believe Live Mexico was the prior week. This is how they're getting ready for majors. They're going to Mexico, then Korea, and then they got to come back to Quail. A video surfaces of Bryson losing his mind about the bunker quality. This was at what was the WGC in Mexico? What was the course?
Chapultepec.
So he play that, PJ, but set to like emo music. Duffing the ball in the bunker. His ball.
Worst fucking bunkers ever. The worst.
With some video?
No, look. You have the fucking Velcro below. What the hell? You could hurt somebody's wrist. You could break someone's wrist.
Uh-huh.
You can't even get it out.
I don't know who produced it.
It's so bad. It's just better. It's
Grumpy
so bad.
He was not happy. And I don't know who added like the Curb Your Enthusiasm music, but that was like some Mexican enterprising journalist or something
it
produced
was.
that like a week later with music. But yeah, he wasn't happy. PJ was auditing. Speaking of music, you were auditing the music at Live Korea. Said a small selection of the artists being played. I don't know why you're watching this in the middle of the night. You're just hopped up.
I remember I watched a lot of Live early when it was on at like 2 a.m. I watched a lot of Adelaide. I watched a lot of Korea. If you put something on at 2 a.m., I will probably be awake and I will be watching.
Small selection of the artists being played. Go ahead.
John Cena. Oh, sorry. I didn't need to step on your thing here. But John Cena, an artist?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got his son. A small selection of artists being played on the 8th hole of Live Korea from PJ, Sabrina Carpenter, John Cena, Anderson .Paak, Toto, U2, Daft Punk, and Eric Church. What a cocktail of artists we got going there. I would love to know how to get the aux cord for a moment like this. I think I'm built for it, PJ tweets. So I don't know. Cena has songs? Is that
it was Tyrrell Hatton, I believe, had Cena's like entrance music, which is rapped by John Cena as his walk-up song. This was the party hole. I forget who had Sabrina Carpenter. But yeah, I remember just being up until odd hours of the night being like, what is this music rotation we have going on here? It was a great week.
Brentley tweets that like Bryson was asked a long-winded question about the fact that Scottie was about to win in Dallas. And he said, DeChambeau said, my goal is to win every tournament that I show up to. Scottie is on a great run. Joaquin Niemann is on a great run. John Rahm has been playing well. There are a lot of star-studded talent out there right now that's going to be in the PGA Championship. We're going to be battling it out. And so there's this like, does he hate Rory? How do you not throw Rory in there? He just won the Masters. He's a fiend at Quail Hollow. So people have proposed this as further evidence that there's Rory, Bryson beef. And there was the whole, like, he didn't talk to me in the final round deal. It's like, but he cites Scottie in Dallas, Joaquin and Rahm on his own, and just Rory's not mentioned. So that's proposed as further beef between the two of them, which, if it's like, feels like kind of a classy beef. I think it's good for the game of golf. Maybe it's not class. I don't know. It feels like they don't love each other. That would be good. It's fine. Tron tweets about Jerry while we're doing Live Korea. Jerry Foltz had just a great get-up wardrobe. I mean, he's had kind of an incredible run in all his time at Live. I don't know what this is. It's like a lot of layers. It looks like, a skateboarder from a 1990s movie or something like that, right? It's like multiple layers, multiple shackets, some chunky shoes. Interesting attire, Jerry Foltz. All right, what else do we have? Okay, in Dallas, Scottie Scheffler ties the PGA Tour record for 72-hole score, 253. He won by 8 shots at 31 under. I think he bogeyed the last hole to kind of tie the record. We're wondering if this was like an honorable thing to do. We didn't want him breaking the record at CJ CUP Byron. I don't know, did he take a dive to just like a pro who comes to your local club, it's 2 off the first tee to not break the course record? Was he doing this to not break the scoring record? 253.
This is the most impressive win of the year, here.
Well, that's what we say. So we talked about, is the Summerlin model massacre? 31 under, the Summerlin model has been massacred, but then we discovered
that was the big thing they were going to do this year, the Summerlin model.
Yes, you take it from a par 5 to a par 4, and all of a sudden,
was it 18 they changed, right?
I think it was 2, right? Was it multiple holes? Might have been 18. And so, now the winning score is no longer 26; it's 24, or 23, and Scottie goes to 31.
I know we talked about this that week, but again, I still stand by it. If the goal of these tournaments is to identify the best player who played that week, I don't think there's a better golf course in the world that identified the best player that week than Scottie Scheffler.
Summerlin model worked because the second place finisher was 23 under, which won the 23 under had won the prior 2 years. So all it did is allowed the best player of his generation of this moment to separate by 9 shots. And that's what TPC Craig Range can do for you. At the 36 hole mark, Scheffler had not made a score higher than 4. 36 holes, hadn't made a score higher than 4. Kind of insane. I think his first bogey was Saturday at like the 16th hole. First bogey. Hadn't made anything over 4. Lamagna in the newsletter, right? It's a golf course where it's difficult to get yourself into trouble off the tee, on approach shots, around the greens, or on the greens. Other than that, it's a stern test.
Did you see what dropped last night? Or at least for me last night? Do you know what dropped?
What?
Fresh Lanny photos.
Oh, that's great.
I directly sent it to Joseph.
Are you following TPC Craig Ranch on Instagram or something?
It got served to me, so I got to see.
Got served.
I think Joseph said Lanny absolutely cooked out here.
So you're saying the algorithm worked. If it's being
in the
served
For You app,
yeah.
That's good.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
A couple other. This is no laying up on the stats. Scottie shot 30 or better 3 times this week on the front 9 alone. Well, you only played it 4 times. 30 or better 3 out of 4 times on the front 9. It hadn't made over a 4 through 36 holes, more than a 4. Just ridiculous. And then this was shortly after Phil had tweeted about how he would not win. Now, Scottie didn't have a great first quarter. He was coming off the Pasta injury. You know, I wouldn't say it was bad, but for him, did not get his first win. In prior years, he'd won 4 times by this would be, end of May. And Phil had tweeted May 4th, or Trevor responds like, Phil, this is not hot. It's scalding. Scottie will win before the Ryder Cup. Let's keep the receipt on this and revisit throughout the season. Trevor resurfaces. Phil, takes his medicine, I suppose. So I might have been off on that one. Crying, laughing emoji. Congrats to Scottie on a great performance. Phil tweets and takes his lumps there. Scottie, I thought this was kind of a serious point. Scottie got emotional about winning the Byron. PJ, did I send this to you to play? He actually started breaking down crying with the man.
Scottie, there is so much that makes this week special. You just won your hometown event. You just tied the PGA Tour scoring record. Your son Bennett, you missed this event last year because this one was about to be born. What makes this win so meaningful?
Yeah, this tournament means a lot to me. It's my first start as a pro 11 years ago. I had my sister caddying for me. She's back there too. So, it's I don't know. I mean, it feels like a lifetime of hard work and sacrifice for little moments like these, and they're pretty special.
They certainly aren't little moments. These are the big things, and we have something for you. We thought maybe this would be good in Bennett's room. This is you.
I just thought, this event is it's very low on the priority ranking of events that are good. And he goes and wins by 9, like blows everybody out. And then it's like emotional about winning. It's sort of indicative of like, if I'm playing, I want to win. I wrote similarly about Rory winning the Irish Open, obviously another home event. This would be Scottie's home event. Just sort of indicative of why Scottie is quote unquote built different. Like this means a lot to him. He went out and beat everybody's ass. When, a guy's kind of done everything at that point in his life. He's got a U.S. Open to win, I guess. But, he's done everything. It's just sort of getting emotional about it. And then in the post-game presser, he talked about, like, as a kid, like, I didn't think about, winning majors and stuff. I just wanted to be a pro. And I would come to this event and, like, God, they've got nice range balls. Right? Like they got new range balls and I could play nice courses if I'm a pro. And that was like his goal in life. Like, I'm going to become a pro. Of course, he probably thought about winning events, but it was more of like, I just want to hit these nice range balls. I want to play these nice courses and be a pro. And that's all he thought about. It wasn't like, I got to win 5 Masters. So interesting perspective, I think, from the best player in the game right now. Runner up was Eric Van Rooyen. And he immediately had some hot takes. He gets into the Truist, I believe, by Aon Swing 5 for this.
You could have given me a year to guess who was the runner-up at the Byron Nelson, and I don't think I would have gotten.
I almost asked you.
He shot like 63 on the last day to finish 9 back.
Yeah, he shot. Yeah, I had it.
He might have lost ground shooting 63.
I had it. He went 66,
like
60.
when Ernie finished runner-up at Pebble.
That's right.
The Tiger.
He went 66, 67, 65, 63 on the weekend, lost by 9. It was kind of insane. So he gets into Aon, and this was great. Then he goes on this soliloquy. I don't know if he's a mule. I wouldn't call him a mule, but he goes on the soliloquy about getting into the signature event. He goes, how honest do you want me to be? I hate it. I strongly believe the strongest fields are the ones with the most players in them. The guys on the PGA Tour are so good. It's so deep. I get that you've got the Scotties of the world, the Roys of the world, and people want to see them. It's entertaining. Like the PGA Championship coming up, for example, it's the strongest field in the game, similar to the players. I love competing. So selfishly, I want to compete against those guys. Again, really proud of playing my way into the Truist. I saw Wyndham comment 2 years ago. Wyndham was in the 100 to 125 spot. He would have lost his cart. And now he's a major winner, and all of a sudden he wants to cut it. And Rory, I know he said he wants the tour to be more cutthroat. Well, this is the most cutthroat sport there is. You miss the cut, you're gone, bro. You're not making money. The NBA has over 300 guys playing. We have 144 guys playing next week at the PGA. That's not a lot. And more than half of them aren't making any money. I think this idea that we're worth what Premier League soccer players are worth is completely mind-blowing. I'm sorry, John Rahm. You're a fantastic player, but you're not worth the zeros they gave you, talking about LIV. You're not worth more than what Cristiano Ronaldo is making. I'm sorry. We don't have the following. We're not the NBA. We're not the NFL. I get there are a handful of really famous and really good golfers. How many of them have run tournaments so far this year? Maybe, I don't know if that was a pop at just a guy or what. But there are some hot fire from the runner-up, Eric Van Rooyen. Colin, Rahm, you're not worth the zeros.
It's got to be the shoes. I mean, he's got a shoe deal.
I feel like the whiplash gift. Just, come on, give me some more. Give me some more.
We're not NBA players. Good. We're not soccer players. This guy's got his own signature shoe. It's pretty NBA to me.
That's right.
Obviously, the CJ Cup with some of the scoring stats I mentioned was a nice place for just a guy to get right. The cut was like -6. I think 6 under he was in, I believe. 5 under was out. But Spieth ties his career low tour record with a 62. And then there's also tweets that's his best ball striking round since 2018, or performance week since 2018 when he finished 3rd at the Masters. And he just isn't having it. Like, I'm not taking these stats with any kind of substance. You cannot tell me just the guy is back because he had his best ball striking round at the CJ CUP Byron Nelson in 5 years, and he shot 62, tying his career low record round. Just not buying it, but people did. They were like, he's back. He's going to go complete the career slam at PGA in a couple of weeks. He's back. Slow play this week got popped. The Chisato Awai got 2-stroke penalty for slow play. On the PGA Tour Americas, Hunter Wolcott was the first to receive a slow play for exceeding his time allotment. Wolcott would then win it. I think it was down in South America somewhere. So like we're handing out actual strokes on some of the other tours. I didn't know about this, but which speaks to how irrelevant it was. As an experiment to improve pace of play, this was a stretch of the schedule. A tour was allowing the use of rangefinders for a limited run from the Heritage through whatever this is. And Davis Riley discovered he had turned the slope on. And he got a 2-stroke penalty. He self-reported. You have to, because obviously, like, I don't know if they're checking slope on every tee. He self-reports. He's on the cut line. He's in like a massive cut sweat. And he rallies and plays his final 10 holes 2 under par with an eagle on his final hole to make the cut on the number. He said, I love this game. One of the beautiful things about this game is the integrity of all of us PGA Tour players and golfers uphold. It's really important to protect the field and play the game with high integrity. So, rangefinder mishap. I don't even know if did that cut down pace of play? Doesn't seem like that experiment necessarily worked. I don't remember anything about it. Rory on it, then this was like, it was bad. Like there was so much rain, like 6-hour delays on this Friday. Rory talks about his Masters dinner. I've been into wild game recently. This must have been with Fallon. So like venison, elk, stuff like that. I don't know if that might be it, but this sort of fueled this run. So maybe something like that. Maybe a hint of what's to come on the Champions Tour. We learn of Truist sponsors exemptions this week, which Kevin will cover here, the event proper. But sponsor exemption, would you believe it? Gary Woodland, Jordan Spieth, and Ricky Fowler are announced. Everybody throws their hands up. Oh my God, we're doing this again. Keith Mitchell would get the final sponsors exemption. Also this week, PJ debuts his TPC RH big letter hat. He played I believe he played the media day for the Travelers and bought a big letter. Did you expense that to business, Pete?
Well, he said, because I sent it right when I checked in, they had the hats, and I said, oh my God, I need that. So I sent it, and then Pete said if I wore it for the duration of the next episode, I could expense it. So that was a threat that I took very literally, and I did it. I wore it on television. I have more than repaid my debt of the $50 big letter hat or whatever it was.
And then last but certainly not least, and I would commend you to go watch the visual presentation of this one. We got Tear It Up, the social media post to TPC Craig Ranch's Instagram account of Lanny riding in a bulldozer and the crowd and the kids chanting, Tear It Up. It is the most Texas shit ever. It's preposterous. Set to Texas type music. PJ, roll it.
Yeah, we are tearing it up here, guys. We're going to have some fun.
All right, here we go. We're going to have a little fun here. Let's get a little tear it up going. Come on. Tear it up.
Tear it up. Tear it up. Tear it up. Tear it up. Tear it up.
Big fat guy in a cowboy hat. This big tubby guy in a cowboy. This I think is the practice green. It's during play of the CJ Cup because there's crowd, like there's kids with flags to sign, and he's just tearing up the practice green with his dozer.
What if it went into a playoff? I guess it's got to get DQ'd, when somebody wants to go roll some practice
or
putts.
Kuchar needed to, wanted to wait for light in the morning. He needed to practice. Yeah, you never know. But tear it up. We're going to have some fun here. Let's do a tear it up chant. An incredible video that should be preserved for all of history. All right, that does it for the CJ Cup Byron Nelson in Texas, a Scottie masterpiece. Kevin, kicking to you. But first, we need to talk about our friends as we drag on here. You should fuel yourself with some Good Walk coffee. You go to goodwalkcoffee.com/shotgun. That's goodwalkcoffee.com/shotgun. Use the code SGS at checkout to save 20% on your entire order. A great holiday gift there. It's a consumable good. People will like that. It doesn't clutter you up, right? It doesn't clutter up in the corner of your kid's playroom or whatever, or the kitchen. You'll actually use it. You go to goodwalkcoffee.com/shotgun. The promo code is SGS to save 20% on your entire order, or you can subscribe to either the fried egg blend or the shotgun blend. You'll save 30% off because you get a recurring 10% off as a subscriber, and use the code. You can double up there with an SGS code to get to 30% off. That's goodwalkcoffee.com/shotgun. Portion of those go to support our work. So, all right, Kevin, take us away. We're going to Truist Championship.
What an honor to be the closer in 2 straight year in reviews.
Seriously.
Rolly fingers here, going multiple innings.
Rolly fingers.
It's all right. It's Truist week. We're going to Philadelphia Cricket Club, which is a rare chance to play some good architecture on the PGA Tour. We're also going to go to Myrtle Beach here and the Turkish Open. But a lot of talk early on in the week about how the better architecture is obviously occurring this week, the week before the PGA. But what is that going to mean for this championship? Are they just going to absolutely tear it up? We will see that in a minute. But just a couple news updates here. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund signs a deal with the Ladies European Tour to title sponsor 5 events. That includes 1 U.S. stop. So the public investment fund is starting to dip its toe more into ladies golf here. They also announced a deal with like a Saudi mining company. So just money flowing in and out all directions there. Perhaps being laundered, who knows, allegedly. And then so PGA Tour comms sends out a sort of updates. There's going to be some controversy a little bit over the sponsors exemptions here, as Brennan alluded to earlier.
Yep.
But their Aeon Swing 5 thing says that out this week in the Aeon Swing 5, Nicholas Højgaard and Keith Mitchell are out. A lot of blowback. Who the F is Nicholas Højgaard? In through the Aeon Swing 5, Eric Van Rooyen and Sam Stevens. But then immediately Keith Mitchell gets the sponsors exemption into the Truist. As we said before, Ricky, Jordan Spieth, and Gary Woodland also get sponsored invites. This is also the week that announced that Ricky gets a special exemption into the PGA Championship. which even he doesn't really understand, doesn't really know why he got it. It's sort of unclear. The Mule Whisperer, Adam Schupak, goes and talks to Ricky. And Ricky says, I don't know. I just was like, give me a tee time and I'll be ready to go. He asked kind of about some of the blowback, and Ricky says, yeah, the negative stuff, I would say it kind of helps me in a way because it fuels me to go out and prove people wrong. He does admit that he's had, a lot of sponsors exemptions this year, and it kind of stinks, but he's hoping to take advantage of them. It's Philadelphia week. It's been a while since the tour has been in Philadelphia, so lots of Philadelphia related content is going to be bounced around all week. But I did enjoy this. Jason Kelsey, the second most famous Kelsey, posts on Reddit this week. Can you please help me with my swing? He's going to play in the Pro-Am here of the Truist, and kind of a true sicko golfer searching for advice late into the night, posting pictures and trying to get tips from various idiot 12 handicaps posing as fives. Our guy Billy Horschel takes to social media to announce this week that he has to undergo surgery on his right hip. That TGL season just took so much out of him, but he gave it his all, got him across the line. But he has to go under the knife and is going to be out for kind of much of the spring and the summer. Hopes to sort of return to full form by the fall. Greg Norman takes to Instagram and poses for a photo with a bunch of first responders. I didn't remember this at all. After the private jet he was in was forced to make an emergency landing while en route from Palm Beach to Los Angeles. What a, who knows? That's Greg Norman still causing some trouble up in the skies, apparently. Additional TGL trademarks get filed this week for potential expansion teams for the virtual league. The Chicago Lynx Golf Club and the Texas Golf Club appear on the patent
Chicago
list.
Lynx. Okay. Chicago, land of great links golf. I'm glad they're calling it Chicago Lynx. All right.
The Telegraph reports that Rory McIlroy's new home in London is nearly complete and will be ready for a move-in following the U.S. Open. So, Rory's eyeing moving overseas here. Xander Schauffele, not on the X app, announces what he will serve at the PGA Champions dinner. It would have been a great opportunity.
You would think
content. Yeah.
You would think that if you had an app, you would publish this information yourself.
No, instead, he says, I didn't do anything unique. I'd say it's sort of middle of the road, a steak option, a fish option. I wanted everyone to be happy and to be able to eat whatever they like. He also says as a gift, he's going to the former PGA champions all around, he's going to give everyone cigars and a humidor. That's right. And once again, our guy Lucas Glover, perhaps piggybacking off of Eric Van Rooyen's comments, gets put onto the Golf Channel and said, you know what, Brendan, you already covered this. I think I might have mixed this up here, but basically saying like, I don't like him then, I didn't like him now. I've been on record saying I was not a fan when they hatched him, his signature events. Yeah. I don't like the 100 cards, and I still don't. I think it's getting too exclusive. I think we're cutting opportunity. And I think the majority would agree with that. But unfortunately, it doesn't sound like the majority matters.
So, he's doubling down on the EVR, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Lucas.
We do have another creator classic.
That radio show just
keeps producing gold. We had another creator classic this week. Very little juice for this one.
God.
A lot of diminishing returns here. I bet you have no clue who won this one.
Nate shot?
This was Josh Richards, Brad Dalkey, and Eric Anders Lang. Nuclear Golf put out a tweet asking if people had watched the Creator Classic. I just wanted to read some of the replies here. I promise I did not cherry pick these there. This is, did you watch the Creator Classic? And if so, what did you think? And the replies are, who are these people? Good God, no. No one wants to watch shite golf. Call me old, but I'd sooner watch pro bowling. I might even watch the TGL before this. No shot. I'd rather watch flies. Fuck. Boring. Nope. The Knicks are on. Found your burner, PJ. I'm all for YouTube golf, but this was painful. Turned it off after 30 minutes. I'd rather be stabbed in the eyes.
Twitter.
Tough deal. This is also the week that Keegan Bradley has a big Ryder Cup dinner, which he invites Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka to, which just gives an excuse for me to pull out this classic picture from them years ago. And pretty much also the 2023 team and the 2024 President's Cup team gets invited. Basically leaves everyone except for Patrick Reed at this table. Poor P, just basically no chance of making the Ryder Cup team.
I miss these old HSBC photo shoots.
I do too.
Yeah.
Remember their sword play, the one Phil sword,
Didn't they put him up in the air and one?
Yeah, I think Henrik was hitched up on strings like a marionette or something, and that was the old China. I think the China event. This one's I think maybe Abu Dhabi, but yeah, that's pretty good.
The Vatican is choosing a new pope this week, so there's a lot of jokes about conclaves. How Keegan Bradley is going to get a call from Zach Johnson telling him he's not the pope. Would you like to be in a conclave? Would you less likely want to be in a conclave with Bryson or Scottie or Brooks? Yanni Sang qualifies for the U.S. Open, the Women's U.S. Open putting lefties, first time in 5 years that she's been in a major, kind of a harbinger of things to come as she will later actually win a tournament. But as we go to Philly Cricket Club, everyone is worried that they are going to bastardize the architecture and shoot 30 under. Rory basically just...
We're
looking at a picture here if you're listening on the pod. Henrik just floating in the air at the old HBC.
The article I found this from, apparently he alleges that he got hurt doing this.
Yes. He got a strain or an oblique or something. I don't know why I remember all the dumbest shit from over the last 20 years, but go ahead.
Basically asking Rory what kind of strategy that he's going to use. And he basically is like, I mean, yeah, you can just send it here. There's not any real, I don't know if we have the audio of this speech, but he's basically, did I not send this to you? Okay. So he basically just says, yeah, you can send it. The strategy is just to hit driver everywhere and figure it out from there. If the golf ball went a little shorter, this course would be awesome. Not that it isn't awesome anyway, but just right now with the distances we hit it, it's probably 500 to 600 yards too short. It would be amazing to play courses like this the way the architect wanted you to play. Of course, metal bats have to rule the day. So Rory basically, does what he did at the last 2 rounds of OKO, was just mindlessly mash driver and put himself in kind of awkward positions. So it doesn't exactly pay off, but he's basically has wedge into every single hole throughout this day.
Yep.
The PGA Championship is next week, so there's a lot of people talking about Rory's going to win. Oh my gosh, Rory! Early on, Jordan Spieth goes up to Rory on the range here and congratulates him on his Grand Slam, and Rory says, "Oh, you're next week," and Jordan says, "Yeah, at the Rory McIlroy Country Club." So even other tour pros are basically laying down at this point, saying, we all know Rory's going to win at Quail Hollow. Joel Beal did some excellent research here, basically saying that while many attribute Rory's success at Quail Hollow to its spacious layout and length, the truth might be that the course's proximity to Domino's is the closest of any venue on the American Tour. I just love the idea of Joel going in and researching how close Domino's was to every single course on the PGA Tour. A lot of talk this week about just U.S. Open Media Day. A lot of videos of the knee deep rough. Okay. No Laying Up publishes its 1000th episode, sort of a seminal moment in golf media. Congrats to our friends there. Rory gets a question from if there's a correlation between his good golf of late and him stepping away from the business side of golf. And he says, yeah.
You seem to step further back from the live debate discussion, and it seemed that's when it started to click. I think you went second, then you won the Players, which I think is probably the toughest tournament to win, and the Masters. Do you think there's a correlation there? Is your mind clearer?
I think so. I'm certainly not involved too much in the politics of everything, and even just not being involved with, even the, being on the board of this tour and even just talking about changes to the Tour Championship and all that. I've no idea what's going on, and I think at this point I don't care. I want to play golf, and the reason I got into this game was to shoot scores and try to play the best golf possible, and not really be concerned about how the tours run or the business of the tour. And it was good to do it. It was a great experience, but I'm happy with where I'm at right now.
CBS cannot stop hammering the cheesesteak angle all week. Just lots and lots of cheesesteak content, including Jim Nance.
Hey, real quick, how about the editorializing in that question with the players, which in my opinion is the toughest to win? Wait, what is going on here?
Who is this? Sorry. Is this Jay Monahan saying that the players is the toughest field in golf?
Sorry.
Like, what are we doing?
I interrupted you. The cheesesteak, Jim Nance. All right.
This is a much needed interruption. The integrity in media is always an important thing to discuss here. CBS loves the cheesesteak angle throughout the week. Jim Nance, in fact, is trying a cheesesteak this week and is basically speechless here.
This. I make my living with my words. There are no words.
Wow.
That was on Amanda Balionis' Instagram, captured then seen by Claire Rogers. HBO also drops its first trailer for the sitcom Stick with Owen Wilson. In the trailer, Mark Maron, comedian, makes fun of Owen Wilson's character in a bar, talking about how, hey, aren't you the guy, the famous golfer who hit a shank on the 12th hole at Sawgrass and had a full psychotic break, threw your clubs in the lake? Andy, I was just wondering maybe if Owen Wilson's character was supposed to be upset that the 12th hole just keeps getting fucking redesigned over and over. This is a bastardization of architecture one way or another.
I mean, when he hit it in there, it would have been hard to hit it into the lake.
That's right.
In the old version.
Little Easter egg for you there. The Truist begins, of course, now finally, and everyone is talking about the little wee par 3. It's maybe going to play under 100 yards. But Andy, you smartly pointed out that this whole course was just renovated in 2013, and it's now basically already completely obsolete. People have gained about a yard every year in distance and speed since 2013. Basically meaning like it's, bunkers that were supposed to, Rory basically says that every single bunker except for one he can carry off the tee. So what is the point? The previous course record was 65. On the first day, 10 players beat it.
I remember that.
Denny McCarthy
shoots. It was so soft the first day. Because then it got firmed up and it kind of held its own.
Better. Yep.
Denny McCarthy shoots 62 to start us out. And then Keith Mitchell goes out and betters it by shooting 61. And then Andy declares this Victory Friday. Can you guess why this is Victory Friday?
What did the Bears do?
Not the Bears, but another Chicago-related thing.
I couldn't tell you.
Conclave picks the first American Pope. He happens to be from Chicago.
There we go.
So this is a tremendous Victory Friday. Porath does some quick investigative reporting and finds out the Pope does not have a gin. So we can't sort of break down the Pope's game. Anyway, this is just a big week for rollback discourse. And, a lot of talk just about like how much better this championship could be. But a few like sort of fun nuggets here. This is also the week that a listener sends in a little tip that one PJ Clark had appeared on a Golf Digest video a while back, having given asking Tiger Woods for some advice. PJ has sort of films himself hitting off of mats at Drumlin. PJ and I just discussed this before the show, and we thought about playing the actual clip, but I thought it might be better if I tried to do the impressions here involved here. So I'm going to do Henny and Tiger here. Next up, we have the real PJ Clark in his Twitter username. He says, "Please help me. I am hopeless." And Tiger says, "Oh, that's really not that bad." He kind of sits back on his heels a little bit. I would have to say, get a little bit more athletic, more into the balls of your feet at address, and try. Look, he's got a lot of knee flex, a little bent over and rounded at the shoulders, kind of bad posture. If he can get a little more athletic, create an arch there with the lower back, get more athletic. He's going to feel, it's kind of like a baseball. All right. The thing, I don't think he's going to just sit there back on his heels all the way through because he's already in a bad posture. And he's only going to get worse if he goes from there. But the follow through, that pose needs a little work. How many people can say that Tiger Woods broke down their swing, Peach?
I don't know, but everybody in my life just loved the get more athletic, like just taking shots at me 7 times in a minute-long thing. But my favorite part is I do have a horrendous posture, even when standing, much less playing golf. And he nailed my little hunchback. It was it was honestly an incredible feat of the human spirit.
Jim Dent passes away. Just sort of, he actually passed away the previous week, but sort of kind of news came out this week. So Brennan had a nice tribute to that. And then just kind of, moving quickly through the septic tank wins the Truist when Shane Lowry kind of falters a little bit. A lot of talk on the pod about what it would mean to win the tank slam, since he already won the Amex earlier this year. He kind of outlasts JT mostly down the stretch. JT continued to play good golf. He pulls away thanks to a tidy birdie on the 15th hole and a gutsy par from the fairway bunker on the 514th 18th, the second toughest hole of the week. I believe that's Joseph from the newsletter here writing us here. And interesting enough, Shane Lowry and the tank move into the top 10 of the world for the first time this week. Straka's caddy, Drew Mathers, actually pulled out of U.S. Open qualifying to be on his bag this week, which seems like a neat thing. Just a couple of notes from the final round that I found on Twitter. Jim Nantz actually compared signing your scorecard to the signing of the Declaration of Independence at one point, which is just great Philly content.
It's amazing.
If you watch the final round, you could hear the crowd kind of misbehaving a bit, constantly screaming Hawk Tua after tee shots. So this is right in the sort of
Philly
the
crowd.
The Hawk Tua discourse. Big debate on the shotgun start about whether Sepp was the equivalent of Matt Stairs. Sort of a big guy, kind of not a lot of pop in his bat.
Forgot about that.
It was just a big week for Burley boys in general, because at the Myrtle Beach event, it sort of comes down to all Mackenzie Hughes needs to do is make a par to win the tournament on 18. Yanks it way left into the trees. It clatters around. He has to pitch out. It's a good wedge to like 10 feet, but he cannot make a par putt, which means that Harry Higgs and Ryan Fox are in a playoff with Mackenzie Hughes. Three-way playoff between them. Higgs, again, stripes it right down the middle, and Fox goes again left into the trees, but it kicks around this time and kicks down on the edge. Mackenzie Hughes also goes left in the trees, but it bounces out all the way into the middle of the fairway. So Foxy has to hit like a big swooping draw just to get it up around the green. And Mackenzie hits it probably 20 feet behind the hole. Harry hits it to like 18 feet. He almost made this same putt in regulation. And everyone's thinking, okay, like, this is either Harry's going to make this putt or Mackenzie's going to pull this off. Foxy chips in from off the green, out of nowhere. Very classy by Harry Higgs as he's kind of walking past, Ryan and Fox to get his ball. Kind of gives him a low five, being like, "Damn, man, like you got me there." So, could have been Harry there getting his card for the year, but no nice. Martin Kurva wins the Turkish Airlines Open. And that I think is a wrap on Truist Week.
All right.
At this point, everyone just wants to get to the PGA Championship.
No, true. Yeah, we were very excited about that Philly cricket getting like a golden age course. You never get, and I don't know that like it was kind of it did,
at least the scores didn't end up getting to 30, whatever.
Right,
it is. 16 under was what Straka ended up winning at, so it was not quite the bastardization that everyone thought it was.
Yeah, I think that first day.
At this point, Tank had relinquished the number one player in the world, which he was for a very long time. I think at this point he was down to number 2 or 3. But this was like peak Tank.
Tank punch back.
Tank punch back. Rory Tank rivalry heated up. You had Pebble in the Masters, and then he added a Truist with his Amex. He's just into the financial sector. So, all right. I've been sending you pictures. I've been sending pictures.
Got a whole bunch.
HSBC photo shoot pictures the last few minutes. Like DJ getting like a puppeteer.
He's like Peter Pan.
There's so many good ones. Jason Duffner was in one. There's Rory.
This is one of my favorite all-time ones.
So ridiculous. These are some visual Easter eggs if you're watching on YouTube. The Duff Daddy was involved.
Justin Rose.
Rose is so good.
That picture has like peak the magicians, the colors.
We demand to be taken seriously. Do you think any of them got to keep those capes, or do they those capes had to go be returned?
They should keep them as relics. Yao with
God, Yao's a big human. He's
Graham
the third hot, like bigger than Rory in this picture.
Yeah.
I mean, and DJ's a big guy, and he's not even.
No. Well, looks miniature. All right, that does it for this Monday episode of the Shotgun Start. The year review continues apace. Wednesday, we will go to Quail Hollow. We'll start with the PGA and sort of, you didn't expect, when the year starts, Lucas Glover's radio show to become such a prominent feature. Maybe the Xander app. Well, none of us expected Dandy Don Rea coming into our lives. And so
the dawn of Don, the rise of Rea. Here we are.
You know what else nobody expected?
Who's
on
that?
December 15th?
Who's that? First place?
First place Bears.
Chicago Bears.
Bear down.
Good better, Bears! Never let it run! Never let it run! It's gonna get better! It's gonna get better! It better get better! Bears on 3, 1, 2, 3!
Congrats to you.
First place Bears.
We'll see you guys on Wednesday.